What's good, babes? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. I hope you subscribe and join my beautiful family. And to all my day ones, welcome back, child. Thank you so much for showing your love and support. I really do appreciate it. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys my everyday makeup routine, my go-to makeup routine. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and I'm so excited to be showing this to you guys. In the video, you'll notice that the lighting keeps changing and there's a lot of wind outside. So if you hear that, please excuse that. You can't control Mother Nature. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're just as keen on seeing this everyday makeup routine, keep on watching. So I'm gonna start with my brows, and I'm gonna take my spoolie. Excuse them, I know I haven't trimmed them. I forgot. But yeah, I'm gonna brush them up with a spoolie. I prefer doing my brows first because I feel like if I have foundation on, because I'm finicky with my brows. If I have my foundation on, I feel like I'm not gonna be able to draw my brows the way I want them to look like, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna start with my brows, and then I'm gonna take this pen that I always use. This is the Boichoko Eye and Lip. It's for eyes and lip, but I also like to use it as a brow pencil because it's so soft and it glides on like a dream. Can you see that? But it tends to get too soft and it tends to melt during the day, and it creates this shiny, oily, I don't know, it becomes shiny and oily. So I always set it with a powder. But first I'm just gonna draw my brows. So what I like to do is just stop right here. I don't draw all the way, and I'll show you why. Next thing I do is I take my spoolie and drag the product to the front like so. That way it creates like a fade in the front, because your natural brows are not thick on the front. So I like to mimic that by taking my spoolie and brushing the front, and then I'll brush my hair as well as the product up to blend the brow product in with my minimalistic brow hairs. Alright, now that that is done, I'm gonna take a concealer. And then I'm gonna clean up my brows with it. And I'm also gonna use it as like a base for my eyes. I'm not gonna really do much on the eyes, but just a light layer. And then what I like to do is just take my finger and blend out the concealer with. I find that it blends smoothly when I do it with my finger. I don't normally clean the top of my brows depending on how they look, but today they look okay. I don't need to clean up the top, so I'm just gonna leave them like that. Now they're done, the next thing I'm gonna do is do my face. And normally I like to go in with a bit of a dark foundation because I'm gonna apply this kind of concealer, so it's gonna brighten up my face. So the first thing I'm gonna do with regards to doing my base is that I'm gonna apply this foundation. It's more like a concealer, but I like to use it as a foundation because it's a bit dark. This one is the Black Opal, from the Black Opal Compact Powder. This one is in the shade number 2. And then I'm gonna scoop it out with a concealer brush, and then I'm just gonna apply it all over my face. And now I'm gonna take my beauty sponge and just blend everything out. I always like to cover my ears and my neck because sometimes I can see when things are not matching, and the last thing I want is looking like I'm wearing a mask. So unless you're gonna be kissed on the neck, and I don't know what you're gonna do, but if you know you're not gonna be kissed on the neck, then I suggest you blend your foundation down to your neck so that everything matches. I'm really not into like full coverage foundation. I'm always like looking to just even out my skin tone like this, not necessarily to cover stuff up. The only thing that I feel like should be a full coverage in my routine should be a concealer, because I'm always like insecure about my under eyes. They're always looking dark, and you know, I feel like I need to like lighten them up with a concealer. Sometimes I go in with two concealers, one to like even everything out, and then one to actually brighten and highlight. So that's on period. Next up is concealer, and the one I'm going to use is the one I actually use to clean up my brows. This is full coverage. I got it at China Mall. Do that at your own risk, but I really love this thing. It's so full coverage. It says it's a multi-use sculpting foundation, but I like to use it as a concealer. It is lasting as it says it is. It is waterproof because I remember yesterday I wore this and I was sweating, and it didn't seem to move. The only thing that made it move was the mask, but other than that, it says here it's true lava born this way. But I know born this way is from Benefit. You know how these Chinese products are like, but it is full coverage. It is full coverage. You'll see right now. It dries out fast, by the way, but it doesn't dry out too fast that you can't actually blend it out. So I'm gonna take my concealer brush again, and then I'm just gonna lightly, you see, I took a little bit, but already, like, look at that. Like, it's so full coverage. Just look at that coverage. To set my base, I'm gonna use the Yardley Mediterranean loose powder. It's in the shade translucent. I'm not gonna use a lot of this because my face tends to get dry from this, but I'm gonna use it to set under my eyes, around my nose, around my mouth, and then the rest I'm gonna use like a powder. I'll show you, like a compact powder. This brush packs a lot. I'm gonna take a little bit more once again and set my brows. Next, I'm gonna take the Black Opal compact powder. This one is in the shade number 1. Kind of a, doesn't look so on the camera, but it's kind of yellow. So I'm gonna take it and apply on the rest of my face. just like that. And then for bronzer, I'm gonna take the number 2 again from Black Opal, because number 2 is darker than number 1. So I'm gonna take it and bronze my cheeks using the same brush. I don't usually contour. I feel like if I have bronzer, that's enough for me. I like to keep everything subtle, you know, so I don't contour and bronze. um, I know they say if you like have dry skin, you should opt to contour with a cream product and then set it with a bronzer, but I feel like that's too much for me because I don't like having too much product on my face. It irritates my face. Like I can feel it on my face, like I'm wearing like a all over face mask, and I don't like that feeling. So I just contour with a bronzer. And for my nose contour, this is a trick I learned from Nikki tutorials. You just take your normal bronzer on a brush and then you just tickle it on your nose like so. Because I find that if I like contour with a smaller brush and I create lines on the edges of my nose, it becomes harsh. And I don't like that look, so I learned this from her. Just tickle your nose. And then you're gonna take your setting powder with a dry sponge, and then you're gonna clean up on the sides of your nose. And then you're gonna leave it there for 2-3 minutes should be enough. I'm just gonna take a smaller brush and just do my crease just to give it a bit of depth. And then I'm gonna remove the bake on my nose. Now for blush, because I haven't really found my favorite blush, I'm gonna use this shade from this beat up palette of mine. It's like a pinky kind of a blush. For highlights, I'm gonna use the Essence Glow to Go palette. Before that, I'm actually gonna set my face with a setting spray. There you go. My nose as well. Now when it comes to eyeliner, I'm going to use my adhesive, my lash adhesive, to create a liner. That way I don't put on a lot of product and it doesn't become too difficult for me to stick on my lashes. So I'm going to use this. And then for the actual wing, because I'm going to do a wing, for the actual wing I'll use like a normal liquid eyeliner. And then I'm gonna apply some mascara on my bottom lashes. Black eyeliner. To finish off my lips, I'm gonna use this lip liner again. For today's lippy, I'm gonna use my favorite one at the moment. It's the MAC Lustra lipstick in the shade Sea Sheer. And that is my everyday makeup routine all complete. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Otherwise, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Click that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my next uploads. And until the next time, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.